Hello dear friend, this is Fisher here. So today we continue with our beautiful story, The Power of the Spirit by Alpha Hosp, also known as Freddy in the book. And today Bruno continues to talking about the nuclear reactors and the nuclear power. So this is the second part of the story 46. And Bruno continued to say, eventually, in the course of an experiment, a nuclear reactor will run out of control. Great quantities of deadly, lethal substances will then be released into the atmosphere and damage and render radioactive wide tracts of the land for decades to come. This event will be allowed to happen by God, so that human beings will eventually become aware of the dangers of this absolutely devilish technology. In this connection, I must nevertheless point out to you that this dangerous occurrence will be one of the last warnings that God will allow to occur for people in positions of responsibility for this world. If human beings should not come to their senses, even then, and turn around on their path of arrogance and hubris, and then God's grace and forbearance will come to an end, and it is that experimenters who will carry the full responsibility for the consequences that will then follow. They will have to experience and even discharge them in their own bodies. So basically, it's very strong message here. So Bruno talking about deadly nuclear technology, atomic bomb, this and that. So again, the nuclear technology is devilish, as what Bruno said here. It only serve a purpose to destroy, and then human beings who so arrogantly believe or ignorantly believe they can control this technology. But in reality, as we all know, Chernobyl and Fukushima. So these two nuclear disasters happened before. That was well known. So the Chernobyl effect, and as what Bruno saying here, and as we know already, has been affect the whole Europe for decades. So since 1980s. So after like the Chernobyl nuclear power station exploded, and then the radioactive matters is in the soil. It's still in like lots of part of Ukraine. It's there for like 2-3 decades already. Still there. So dear friends, so nuclear is not the way we go in the future, and then there will be a cosmic energy that will supply enough electricity to human beings' need. And also, Bruno pointed out here, it's very, very serious. So, and then the nuclear disaster here he mentioned, we believe that's the Chernobyl one. And then he's talking about will be one of the last warnings. So basically, Chernobyl was the one of the last warnings, and Fukushima was another one of the last warnings. So if we don't turn around, and then we're coming to the end very soon. So we must turn around and to embrace the good, to love Mother Earth, to love our environment. And also Bruno mentioned about like if human beings don't turn around on the path of arrogance and ignorance, and then God's grace and forbearance will come to an end. This is very serious. So in a sense, we probably live in the end time. So of course we already finished like the age of Pisces, and now we're in the age of Aquarius now. And then this year is very wet. Like last year, I'm in Australia. Last year, the whole Australia was on the bushfire since actually August, September 2019. So everything got burned out. This year we have so much rain, and then the grass is so green. So the first summer of the age of Aquarius. So now everything is going good. And then still again, and then we still need to give up our arrogance, and we still need to give up our ignorance, and then take responsibility for whatever we do. And also at last, Bruno mentioned about the experimenters of this nuclear energy will take full responsibility for whatever the consequences that will then follow, and then they themselves will experience and discharge all these consequences in their own body. So there was back to the well, probably like quite a few decades ago, there was the Chinese nuclear atomic research team. The team was doing the research in the west part of China, in the desert. So later on, all most of these researchers, and then especially the one who was in charge, was die of a whole body bleeding from the radioactive, the radiations. So it would die in the very miserable way. So everything has consequences, and then everything will have a karmic effect, so for everybody to bear. So that's why I always stress that we need to take responsibility of what we do, and then follow the good path, the divine path, work on the good, and work on the God divine path, and then it will lead to the prosperity of humanity. And now we're in a very struggle time as to whatever's happening globally, and everybody should have a faith. Okay, even believing the good will help this world to be good. Okay, dear friends, I wish you have a good day and God bless.